Hey there, and welcome. I'm at Comic-Con New York 2022 with Brian C. O'Halloran, star of Clerks. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Now, first question I want to know, prior to Clerks, how much acting had you done?
I was doing community theater for about two or 3 years at that point when I auditioned for Clerks. I had started late in high school doing plays. I then did community theater like a year or two after that. I went to college and took courses in stagecraft and stage building and like sound design, light design, stuff like that. And then it was in 1993 when I auditioned for Kevin out of a theater that I had done regular theater work out of. So this is before the day of the internet, people having their personal cell phones, where Kevin contacted the owners of the theater to go, hey, we'd love to audition for a film we're doing in the area, and we'd love to hold auditions here at your theater. Could you call your stable of actors who work out of this theater to see if they'd be interested in doing, auditioning for the movie? And then the rest is history.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Amazing. And what were some initial impressions of the cast when you first meet? What was that first meeting like?
Well, after the initial audition, I really didn't know what the film I was auditioning for. I knew it was going to be a comedy. I knew that the cast was like 20 somethings, but that's about it. So when I finally got to read the script, when Kevin had called me back for like 2 more callbacks, one with him and then another one with Marilyn Gigliotti, who I'd worked with before, so we were both surprised. Number one, to see someone who I'd worked with before being a part of it. So I was happily surprised about that. But getting to know like Jeff Anderson, Lisa Spoonhour, getting to know Kevin himself, his DP Dave Klein, and his producer and good friend Scott Mosier, it was a good sort of clique of 20-somethings working on something that I thought was kind of something you haven't seen around before done in film. So I enjoyed it.
Right. Clerks is my personal favorite film of all time, and there really isn't too much that came before it that's like it. What are some things that you've seen maybe in its wake that you think maybe are Clerks inspired, or just off the top?
Oh God, in its wake, if you look at the Hangover movies, it's very Clerks inspired. Ryan Reynolds did a film called Waiting, where it was with Jennifer Aniston, which was about a service job and the behind-the-scenes life of someone working a service job. Those are the type of things that I always thought was very interesting. When you watch something like Do the Right Thing, it's a movie that takes place all in one day. You're following that character from the beginning they wake up to the end of the night when shit gets real. That movie in itself, that a whole movie that took place in one day, was something that I think Kevin saw as inspiration, things like that. He's often talked about Jim Jarmusch's films and Slacker by Richard Linklater and things like that. Those guys are the type of ones that did it with their own friends, their own money, their own financing. So that's the before of whatever Kevin then hopefully achieved. The fact that it connected with people is just lightning in a bottle. Independent film in 93, 94. If you just look at all the music and all the films that came out in 94, and seriously look at that list, you're like, holy crap, what an amazing year of both film and music that came out that year. Something was in the air. Some creativity was in the air globally to make independent filmmakers especially take their chances and do what they wanted to do.
Wow, 94, it's interesting you mentioned it's a year of great music and film. A lot of my favorites did Pulp Fiction also came out the same year. Woodstock 94. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Now, how does it feel to jump, I know it's been in between each Clerks movie over a decade between. How easy is it to slip back into Dante Hicks?
It's pretty funny. Kevin has slipped the Dante character into other films since the original Clerks.
View Askew,
Yeah, so, I dipped in, like Dante shows up briefly in the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, Clerks II. We also did a short film called The Flying Car, which you can go on Google and type in Clerks Flying Car. So these things and these characters are sprinkled in between. In 2000, we got to do a very limited cartoon series with Disney and ABC. So these are the type of things where we got to play these characters, even in small amounts, throughout these decades in between the 3 major films. So I think it kept us fresh in that sense. I mean, we get to know these characters quite easily. It also is a testament to Kevin's writing. Kevin's writing is very easily mixed together when it comes to Dante and Randall and Jay and Silent Bob and any of the other characters.
I'm very glad you mentioned Clerks the Animated series. I wanted to ask you about it. So it was a pretty short run, huh? Do you know how many episodes?
We made six. We made six, but ABC only aired 2 episodes. And then even then they aired them out of order. They aired the second episode first, then the first episode. It was obvious they didn't care about the series at all. When we had recorded the dialogue, and then by the time the dialogue was recorded and the time it was animated, it was about 9 months or so. And so by that time, in that time period, a game show that ABC had started called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire became a huge hit for them over that summer. So by the time we were supposed to air, it was supposed to be like, oh, we're a springtime replacement show, turned into, yeah, we're going to be a summertime show, to like, we'll show it when we show it. And even then, we knew, before the first episode aired, we knew we were already canceled, that we were not being picked up. But we can still do this animation at some point, again, we'd love to. We can't do it exactly like Disney did because they own the rights to that version, so to speak. But we can do an animated Clerks series that's a different art style. It's not the same, silver type of art style who did the original artwork. So hopefully we can do that soon.
That would be awesome to see. So I'm guessing you didn't know too much about planned episodes that didn't come out.
We did.
Oh,
we did.
okay.
There was like I remember him telling me, saying, oh, there had been like 6 other storylines that he had planned for other episodes. Very funny. We've been able to sprinkle some of those kind of storylines into the real films from time to time. So, matter of fact, and he's talked about this, the inspiration of Clerks III, where Randall makes a movie about his life. We were going to do that in the cartoon back in 2000.
Okay.
So this is an idea that Kevin has hung on to for all this time.
That's great. Now, speaking of the new film, when does it release to stream?
Streaming, it comes out in 2 weeks. So if today is, let's say, the 6th or the 7th, I think it comes out either the 14th or the 18th or something like that. Check your local streaming provider, even your cable on-demand service to see where you can find it. But then it'll also be released on Blu-ray and DVD first week in December.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Now, what would you like to say briefly about this new movie? I have yet to see it. I wanted to catch one of the live screenings, didn't quite get the chance. For fans, longtime fans, even short-time fans, what would they come to expect?
Well, in this one, I mean, if you've been a fan, new or since 1994 for that matter, and you know the story behind the original Clerks films and the Clerks II films, I think the fans will enjoy this third one because it's a real complete arc of the 2 characters, especially of Dante and Randall, but also Jay and Silent Bob. You see where we last left off with Clerks II. Becky, his manager at the movies, and him fell in love, and they have a child on the way. So you see what happens with that storyline, and you see where the relationship over the last 15 years has developed since then between both Dante and Randall, Jay and Silent Bob, and then obviously Becky and Dante. And then also we have new characters returning. We have the Elias character from Clerks II returning, played by Trevor Furman. He's got a new sidekick named Blockchain Coltrane. He'll be there, and a lot of great cameos. I think the fans will enjoy, especially the longtime fans will enjoy to see where this arc has gone.
Lord, a sidekick to Elias. What a sad existence that is.
And the kid kills it. The kid kills it.
Good.
Yeah.
And one last question.
Sure.
Now, from Clerks II, one of the most iconic lines was about how you never go ask them out. Now, I want to know, are those just lines in a movie, or are those words to live by?
I personally think it's a good public service announcement. You never go ask them out. It's just hygienic, especially in today's day and age, where you need to get inoculations for everything. That's the last place you want to go.
Lord, yeah, nothing but disease.
Right.
Well, thank you. No pun intended. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Time.
Thanks for having me on. Not at all.